Well, hello. Welcome for another episode of Turning on the Beast. Well, my name's Dave, and I wanted to share a few minutes with you and talk to you about a device I built to help control dust in the shop. And it's this little box right here. So with the VB36, our bedway is a little bit different. We've got the two rails, the two poles, and not much attaches to them that's available on the market. So I got thinking one day, what could I do? I didn't want to spend $90 for the stand that might hold your hose up. So I decided to build my own. And what I did was just take a drill and drill a hole for the top pipe and the lower pipe. And then I had to fiddle with it a bit to make it work. It's kind of shaped like a popcorn box. Then I got one bolt going through it, a 3/8 bolt with a 5-star knob on it. And then I used a wing nut back here so that I control how close it comes, you know, depending on the size of the turning you have. So that worked pretty well. I used the thumb screws on the bands to hold the whatever we call this, the bell port on, and I can pivot that. So it works really well, especially when you're sanding. I mean, everything goes right in. You know, when we first start turning, most everything comes this way, the inside of the bowl goes that way. All in all, it keeps the dust out, and most of the shavings will go into it. Now, I also did it so that I can run the dust port, or I have plumbed to the bottom down here. There is a floor vacuum down here. I can run both of them at the same time. It cuts the efficiency up here a little bit. But for the most part, I run this one, and then I run this one for any cleanup that's needed. Now, the damnable thing about it, of course, is you have the noise from the dust extractor. And as you can see, mine's right behind me. But I did find these earplugs. Now, these are made by IsoTune. They are Bluetooth, and they are fantastic. When I've got them in, I can't hear that thing running at all. When the compressor kicks on, it's good. I don't hear that, but a very dull sound in the back. These things cut out 27 decibels of noise. Bluetooth, so I can listen to the music I want while I'm turning. Peace and quiet. So nice. So in a minute, I'm going to show you how I put this thing together real quick and demonstrate with some other different turnings on here how well it works. Okay? Okay, I thought I'd take a moment to show you the different parts. This is where I added the Y connection so that I could enter the two dust ports, one to the floor, one to the lathe. It was easy enough to do. Then the next thing to do was choosing the clamps to hold it on with. Now, I really like the thumb screws. I mentioned that before. It's certainly easier. I've gotten a little bit older and my hands aren't quite as strong as they used to be, and that's a very, very nice to have. Now, they came down. If you look at this port right here, this is called a bell port. Now, that was important. I had a heck of a time finding a new one. I have another one in the shop. Now, I got this stuff all from Peachtree. I found them to be very inexpensive. For example, this bell port was only like $6. The little rack on the back that holds the hose was actually designed to hold the hose on the back of a roller stand. So it's just a clamp with a band around it, and the band can move. Now, one of the ideas I've had is to take this piece of wood right here and put a notch on it so that I could lower the bell port just a little bit when I wanted to. I notice on bigger pieces, when the shavings fall further, it doesn't extract them quite as well. So I thought I would give that a go, work in progress type of thing. Now, the next thing I did was add the 5-star knob. That made it easy again. Now, this thing does loosen up and slide left and right quite easily on the poles. Piece of cake. Also, you can undo the 5-star knob and it will make it so you can take the whole thing off very, very quickly. I just loosen it up and hang it from the back. You know, sometimes it just feels like it's in your way. Okay, then down here on the floor, I've got the floor sweep. So that's a nice to have while I'm working. I don't let shavings build up where I'm slipping on the concrete. I just go ahead and sweep them in there very, very quickly. It is quite efficient, boy. Now, originally I had on this port, you can see this one's wider, and the trouble was it has those grates back there, and that would catch all the things, or the shavings. So, and it looks like it would be more efficient because it's wider, and realistically it wasn't efficient at all. It clogged up real quick, and it didn't extract that well. To create this shape was basically, I mentioned make a popcorn box, thus the small at the bottom, large at the top. So we're about 4 inches across, 2 inches at the bottom. Metric, that was 11 centimeters and 5 centimeters, and the distance was 9 and 13/16. Didn't know how to convert that. But the holes were 3 inches and 2 inches, and so that was 7.6 centimeters and 5 centimeters. Pretty darn close. Get your calipers out and check it out. So all we had to do was drill the 2 holes and then cut the board in half, and of course you needed to cut these angles here, or of course start on one side and then just cut one angle and then cut it down the middle. Do that twice, you ended up with the box. All I did was glue and nail them on there, and that was it. Okay, so let's take a minute and cut one of the holes, alright? Alrighty, so to cut the holes in the wood, I simply used a circle cutter, inexpensive tool. I bought this, good heavens, 30 years ago, still using it. I've replaced the cutter one time. So all I had to do is use a set of calipers, measure the poles passing through, and cut the holes correctly. Here I posted that to let you see it up close. Wasn't sure how well it could be seen in the other cut there. So again, to me it looks like a popcorn box. All you got to do is draw it out, and after you cut the 2 holes in it, cut it right down the middle. Then you got your 2 halves, make them match up. Use a little sander if you have to, but it goes together pretty easy. And just remember, you're going to make 2 of these, one for each side of the rails. Okie-doke. Like I say, all we got to do is drill through it. I do like to drill from both sides. Makes a much cleaner hole. Okay. All you got to do is flip it over. Alrighty, there we have it. If you ever want to really rack a knuckle, get your hand in front of one of these things, I'll tell you. So all you gotta do is drill the other hole, cut her down the middle, okay? And that's it. All we got to do now is cut it down the middle. So the next step would be, of course, cut the 2 angles and then put a backer board on it, put a 4-inch wide board, and assemble it from there. Drill a hole through the middle to accept the bolt. Take a couple of angle braces, make your top piece, and you're done. Nothing at all to it. So, most expensive tool is the circle cutter. Of course, if you got a couple of hole saws, that would be easy. But I think this is a little bit less expensive, and it certainly works very, very well. So again, once you get it all together, all you got to do is take two pieces, put the back on, make your hinges however big you want to make your top. Like I think I mentioned earlier, I'm going to put a notch in this so I can drop that holder down just a little bit so I can get down a little lower. Put your, never fails, right? Put the two together, clamp them right around the bars, and you're set. Again, it's simple, it works, and I'm glad I was able to show it to you, all right? So thanks again. So after hollowing out this bowl, all of this, how much sawdust did we end up with on the floor? So let's take a look. So I got a little bit on the lathe, a little bit on the table of the lathe. As far as the floor goes, that's it. So that's pretty incredible. Usually we'd be standing in a great big pile here. You can see all the way away from the lathe, it's still clean. Concrete's clean. And all right, I thought I'd take a moment to show you how easily the box slides back and forth for adjustment. Okay, all you have to do, of course, is undo the star knob. Make your adjustment for the piece you're wanting, and then tighten it right back up. Now I made this little cap for it only for the purpose of keeping shavings out of here, one less place to have to clean up. Okay, now another thought I had was, how about a steady rest for vessel hollowing? Now for our VB36 owners, there's not too many available out there, I believe, that don't cost a lot of money. And there's quite a number of people that like to make their own, that type of thing. I was thinking this type of attachment modified to hold a steady rest may perhaps make it a bit beefier and that type of thing, but it certainly gives you an idea. So anyway, there's that. Now Melvin, this is for you. I was teasing you about what I did with the hole here, so I'll show you in just to tease you a little bit, give you an idea, but I promise I'll make a video and show you later, but I'll give you a hint. Alrighty, so I really appreciate you taking the time to check this out. I think we've created something that is easy enough to make and easy enough to use that will show advantage. So I think you should look into it, and I appreciate your time. Thank you so much, and this ends Turning on the Beast, okay? Bye.